Welcome back to Popcorn and Pals. It's the podcast where we talk about all sorts of movies, good and bad, and we give you our completely unqualified takes on them. He's Zach. I'm Justin. And today we're talking about the 1959 comedy that'll make you want to run from the mob. It's Some Like It Hot. Zachary, how are we doing?
Dude, I am so excited to talk about this movie. I
I
feel like
feel
we did 4 90s movies in a row. This is a classics podcast. Get that 90s trash out of here. That's too new. We're back. Black and white, 50s. I love it. I'm ready to
yeah.
talk about an old movie.
I think when you first started talking about this podcast in general, like creating it, I think this is one of the movies that you were most excited for.
I love talking about this movie because it's so insane. And the fact that it was made is incredible. The premise is incredible. Not to get like straight into it, but it's just it's an insane movie that I was like, I remember watching. So I always talked about this, right? Like part of what inspired me to do this podcast, my wife and I were like, we need to get up in our classic movies. And I was telling, or we were talking about this before, but the first time I watched this movie, it was kind of like in that effort. And my my wife's aunt was actually who recommended it to us. We watched it with them, but I just remember watching this movie and be like, "What is happening? I've never seen anything like this. It's so insane." It's it's a period piece.
Mm,
Even for the 50s, it's a period piece. It takes place in the 20s,
mhm.
but it's like about men in drag. It has nothing to do with the 20s other than I guess gangsters and prohibition. Is
Yeah.
just it's like it's in black and white in a time when most movies were in color. It's got mass murder in it. Like it's just an insane movie. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah. It's I mean, it's a very interesting movie. I am very excited to talk about it because I feel like there's a lot of it touches on a lot of different things. Um, but before we dive into it,
yeah,
do you want to hit us with your patented plot summary?
sure. All right. Two deadbeat musicians witness a gruesome mass murder and find themselves on the run from the mob. To hide, they disguise themselves as women and con their way into a girl group. Their journey takes them to Florida, where they spend their time gaslighting a young woman. After witnessing a second mass murder, they coerce a pervy millionaire into helping them escape.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it. You don't even need to watch the movie now. Just that's it right there. I think that also sums up how kind of ludicrous some of this story is.
No, it's like it starts off with like any other movie that starts off with like a mob mass killing, and it's based on a real event, like a Bloody Valentine's, right?
Mm.
Any other movie, if you're the witness to that movie, it's like this is a drama, right? You're like in you're either in drama, you're going through PTSD. They're just like, we got to get out of here, Jerry.
Yeah, we we gotta go.
We got to go. He's like, well, we can be in Florida. I mean, nice weather. It's so cold in Chicago. I'm like, you just saw mass murder.
Yeah. I feel like the overall theme of this movie is that there are very heavy events that happen,
Yeah.
but because it's supposed to be a comedy, they just kinda just dance right through it. I mean, the whole thing is pretty ludicrous. I can't wait to get to the nitpicks at the end of our show
For
because
sure.
there's quite a few,
Yeah.
um, but
Speaking of
no.
that, yeah, let's just talk about podcast structure then real quick so we
Mm.
can get started with our chat because I want to get into this one, man. I'm like, I'm ready. I told you I've talked about this movie with you forever. Like I just think I have so many opinions on it. But anyways, podcast structure. We're gonna have a chat about the movie, compare some notes. We'll get into our superlatives, and then we'll rate whether we think this movie should be a classic. From a real plot summary perspective, there's two musicians played by Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon. They are witness a mass murder by the mob in inner gang rivalry kind of stuff. And obviously, the mob doesn't want any witnesses, so
Mm,
they go on the run. And the way they decide to do that is to impersonate women and join an all-girl jazz musical group.
mhm.
And while they're heading down to Florida to do a gig for 2 weeks, They meet Marilyn Monroe's character, Sugar Cane. I was like, Jesus, what a name. Anyways, the whole and both of the two men, like, basically fall in love with her or, are infatuated by her,
Yeah.
um, but they're in drag, and so they're women to her. So,
Somehow they're
uh
women to
yeah,
her.
somehow they're women to her. And so they, hijinks ensue. Tony Curtis's character impersonates, like, a millionaire yacht owner, his name also too, Shell Oil Jr.
Yeah. Shell Oil.
Shell Oil Jr., to, I guess, win Marilyn Monroe's heart. Meanwhile, Jack Lemmon's character, Daphne or Jerry, whatever you wanna call him, um, he's getting pursued by a real millionaire, um and then coincidentally, like the biggest coincidence, I guess we'll get into nitpicks,
Mhm.
but the mob comes to their hotel in Florida, completely unrelated to following them and trying to find them. Just happens to be that, like, that classic mob scene where all the families get together and they talk, whatever, right? Just happens to be at the same hotel that they're doing that this all girl band is performing at, and
Mhm.
so culminates in them, you know, escaping the mob, and, you know, b Marilyn Monroe figures out that she's a dude, doesn't have a problem with that, and and they run off together.
There you go.
There you go.
Even listening to you talk about it after watching it, it still sounds crazy.
Yeah,
It
it's an
sounds
insane
like such
movie.
a wild plot, but I don't know, maybe because I feel like we have been exposed to other movies of this, like, almost specific genre, like White
Mhm.
Chicks, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah. This has
right?
been
Like
remade 1,000 times
yeah, but
in
I'm
many different
sure
ways.
I'm sure back in the '50s, this was probably, like, a pretty novel idea. I don't know if this was, like, the first movie to put, like, men in women's clothing and act like women, but,
Yeah. Well,
um
we've talked about the Hays Code before, right? So,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
the Hays Code would have strictly prohibited this movie.
mhm,
And this movie comes out right as the Hays Code is becoming irrelevant. And a lot of people credit this movie. So this movie was the script was not submitted to the code's authority for review. So it didn't go through the Hays Code's process because there's cross-dressing in it.
yeah,
There is man-on-man relationship, even if one of them doesn't know that they're in a man-on-man relationship, right? There's, like, gay undertones in this. There
mhm,
is, like, it's a very
progressive.
yeah, I say this loosely, but it's a progressive movie for 1959,
Yeah,
and it's attributed for making the Hays Code pretty irrelevant.
yeah,
Because I do think it actually has something to say. Like, I don't know if White Chicks really has something to say
mhm,
about culture and about masculinity and about identity and all that stuff, or at least not the way that this movie does. But before we get started here, okay. So I know we talked about before this podcast started some of the accolades of this movie, but I just
mm,
wanted to go down the list here. Okay. A 95% on Rotten Tomato,
mhm,
98% on Metacritic,
mhm.
AFI's 100 movies, 100 laughs, number one on that list.
I didn't
The
know
B
that.
Yeah, number 1 on
Wow,
the 100 laughs. Now this is
wow,
from 20 years ago, so,
sure,
maybe, Superbad gets put on there or something, I don't know.
mm,
But, um, the BBC's 100 Greatest Movies of All Time, number 30. AFI's 100 Greatest Movies of All Time, number 23. 1998 Time Magazine, 100 Greatest Movies of All Time, number 9. Roger Ebert said, "One of the most endearing treasures of the movies." It was the biggest film in 1959, and the Catholic Church gave it a C rating for, condemned by the Legion of Decency. So
what? What? I didn't even know that one. I read a bunch of the other ones, but the Catholic
yeah, the
Church
Catholic
review it?
Church, they have an ABC rating. This was back in the 50s. I don't know if they still have
Yeah,
it. But C was their lowest rating they could give. It's for condemned by the Legion of Decency. So the Catholic
wow,
Church is not a fan of this movie, but everyone
yeah,
else in the history of movies considers this like one of the best movies of all time. Classic comedy, the comedy of comedies.
mhm.
What'd you think about it?
It was okay. I mean, I like, it was It was I know we kinda joking about it very briefly before we started recording. Like, it's a movie? I don't know. I mean, I was pretty okay, yeah, going back to the accolades after watching it, 'cause I always research after we watch
Sure,
movies.
sure, yeah, go in there fresh, I got it.
'Cause then I feel like it's kind of fun to see what did I think about it versus what did the rest of the world think about it,
Yeah,
especially decades ago.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
pretty shocked to see that it was nominated for 6 Academy Awards.
Yeah,
I
best
did
picture, best director.
I did think it was really funny that the only one that it won was, best costume design.
Mhm.
But the other one, I don't know if you mentioned it, but in 1989, the Library of Congress
Yeah,
selected it
yeah.
as one of the first 25 films for preservation in the U.S. National Film Registry. Even in 1989, I feel like I'm hard pressed to put this in the top like 25 first selections. That's a hard sell for me. Um, I was I don't know. I thought it was funny. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was a bad movie. Like, I actually thought a lot of the jokes and the humor still landed today, which I feel
No,
like that's a
there's a
test.
few times I visibly laughed out loud. Like,
Yeah,
Philadelphia's story is supposed to be a comedy. I didn't laugh a
yeah.
single time out loud in that movie for the most part. Like, this
No.
movie is pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially for something that's almost 70 years old, I think that's a
Yeah.
pretty decent testament to how well it was written, how well it was acted. Um, but like all that to say, and I I don't know. I guess I'm just hard pressed to be like, yes, this is it. This makes all the lists. It's one of the best movies ever made. And I just don't feel that way, but
Mhm.
it was fun. It was entertaining. I had fun watching it. I don't know. What
I
about
th
you? You said you watched it for the first time 8
Oh,
years
no, I
ago.
totally thought this movie was fine. I thought it was okay. I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
it's okay." Like, honestly, the whole, like the more you think about the conceit of the movies and what's happening in the movie, it stuck with me in, like, how insane the plot is.
Yeah.
And the writing's pretty good. Like, the dialogue is pretty good. Sometimes they're a little exposition-y, and there's some
Mhm.
overacting for sure.
Mhm.
Um, but I think I think there's a couple things, like, working for this movie for history, and we haven't done Citizen Kane yet. Again, I think we gotta be much better at this show before we do Citizen Kane. And I don't know, we probably need to be better than this. We probably need to be better at this than for this movie, but, um, the, like, what was novel, what was inventive, what was pushing the boundaries, what was, like, bringing things so far along and completely new in 1959 is just derivative now, right? Like, there's
Yeah.
been we talked about it, like, there's a stupid, lowbrow comedy, White Chicks, that's, like, literally a similar concept,
Mhm.
and it's like, that movie's like, throw it away in the bargain bin at Walmart, right? Like, it's not
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just not
Yeah.
the concept is, if you made this movie today, you pitched this movie today, it's as silly and stupid and not, like doesn't really have a lot of social commentary
Mhm.
that you would find in 1959 when they did this
Yeah.
for the first time. Like I said, the Hays Code, like this is one of the movies that broke the Hays Code
Mhm.
because of how original it was. It's
Yeah.
just not that way anymore, but that's because we have 70 years and thanks to this movie.
Yeah. No, I think that's a phenomenal take on it. Cause yeah, it's this type of stuff, I think we're numb to it. We have seen every single type of comedy that feels like has ever been
Yeah.
made before, so nothing about this feels novel. I mean, and I think maybe that's why it feels just so fine. Like, it doesn't stand out whatsoever to me. But if we were in 1959 seeing this for the very first time, I'm sure we would have been blown away. Like, "Oh my god. Holy shit. This is really funny. This is incredible. This has never been done before."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's,
Yeah, it's fine.
it's
It's okay.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
okay.
wish I had a big stamp that just said, "It's fine," stamped.
Yeah,
I
I know,
mean
right? It'll be I'm, like, not sure where just to like, tease a little bit here. I'm honestly not sure where this is for me, and it's a classic, not a classic phase, because I think especially comedy is, like, so subjective to the time it's in.
Mhm.
And the further we get away from certain comedies, the less relevant they become. And so you look back at like it takes a really special comedy, I think, to really hold its value over time. And the
Mhm.
fact that this is a period piece in a gangster 1920s era, I think works for it in that regard. Even though it was a period piece back in 1959, it doesn't feel like, when we watched, oh, what's it called? Even though I really liked it, but, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Like, that movie
Mm.
feels like it takes place in 1967, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Like,
Yeah.
this movie, it's a '59 movie, it takes place in the '20s, but there's movies being made about that time period still to this day,
Mhm.
where the '60s is a little more, it's like the '60s, '70s, '80s. This is like it'd be weird to make this movie now and
Mhm.
to place it in the '80s.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
but anyways, I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
kinda rambling there, but um, I don't know, I think it works to its advantage because you think, like, over time, big comedies from even in our lifetime have become less relevant, like,
Oh, yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite was, like, the best thing
Oh
when it
my
came
god.
out, and it's like, if I watch that now, I'd be like, "What is this trash?" Right? Like
You
or,
you
Anchorman
you
gets less funny over time, I think, as
yeah.
another example, right? It's like
Mm.
that kinda humor's evolved and changed, you know? When you watch Anchorman and then you watch I don't know why I keep bringing this up, but, like, Superbad, you're like, "Oh, well, Superbad elevated that genre." Anchorman was like, living on the SNL world of movies, but,
Yeah.
like, okay, comedy's changing, and, like,
Mhm.
I think it keeps changing and to a point right now where we just really don't have that much comedy anymore. I
Yeah.
think that's kinda been replaced by, like, superhero movies because 'cause they're pretty
Mhm.
comedic,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. No, I think yeah, you're exactly right, and it's funny that you stole my example, Napoleon Dynamite. I
Mm,
watched it. It was
sorry.
probably last year at some point, but I put it on just one night when Hannah and I were getting ready to go to bed, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't really like this movie," and I was like, "This was the funniest thing ever created." When we saw it, when we were, what, freshmen in high school, maybe? I don't know. I don't
Yep.
remember when it came out, but we thought it was the best thing. It's horrible. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen as an adult. It's n like but to think at that time, we were blown away by it because it was such a different type of thing that was
Yeah.
being done, similar to this movie, to Some Like
I
It's
know we'll
Hot,
have to
that
get
was
to
done back in the '50s.
we'll have to get together in like 10 years when our kids are, like in middle school age, and we're gonna have to like run them through like a series of comedies over the decades and see
Yeah.
if like which ones hold up and which ones don't. I'll be like, all right, we're gonna watch Some Like It's Hot. What do you think
Mm.
about it? No? All right. We're gonna watch, we're gonna watch Porky's or Animal House. Okay, no? All right, we're gonna watch, Napoleon Dynamite, and then we're gonna watch Anchorman, and then we're gonna watch, you know, whatever, right after that, like, I'm just gonna be curious to, like, see what holds up to them at, like, because is Napoleon Dynamite funny because it's 19 because we were 14 when it came out?
Mm.
Or is it funny because, it was actually good? And I don't think it was. So, I
It's
don't know.
yeah, the former, not the latter. But you yeah, you do, you bring up a good point too. I feel like we could spend an entire episode talking about, like similar to I feel like horror movies,
Mhm.
we've touched on that in the past, like, that feels like untapped potential. Comedy, like, the comedy genre feels like it has just simmered down really, really
Yeah,
hard over
stalled.
the last decade plus, and I know there's probably just a bunch of different factors that goes into it, but it's really sad because I feel like there for such a long time from, like, early mid-thousands to, like, what, mid-2010s?
Yeah,
I feel like
maybe, like, 2012, 14 was, like, the end of that era.
yeah, there was a
Telling you
ton
the
of
the
comedy
the the
movies.
comic book movie killed it because they're
Yeah.
so comedic. Yeah, I don't know, I do because they used to be, like, the biggest movies, like, the only ones that we would watch, like, talk about were,
Mhm.
like, comedy movies from the 2000s.
Yeah. You think about, like,
But
Hangover
there's
series.
yeah.
I remember going to see The Hangover Part 2, like, opening night, prime time, because we were like, "This is it." Like, this is the movie that we've been waiting for years, right? I mean, that's a big deal with, like I feel like most comedy movies, you'd probably be like, "Yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll go see
Yeah,
that, like,
they're, like,
next week or
usually
something."
on I'll wait till they come out on Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, at
Yeah,
one
I can't
point
think of the last time I've been to a comedy in theaters.
I can't either. I don't know. I couldn't tell you because I feel like they're so few and far between. they don't make them like they used to.
Mm-mm.
But anywho, I mean, it's
But they're
just sad. I've
But they really are a product of their time. My
mhm.
parents think, like, Caddyshack and, like, Animal House are, like, the 2 funniest movies ever, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "They are whatever."
Mm,
Caddyshack is okay. Animal House, I find, like, practically unwatchable. It's so bad in my
no.
mind, and I'm in my memory. So it's like it's just they're so subjective. They're really products of the time, and I think that's a
Mhm.
testament to this movie. Like, I think it's got some more classic humor in it. There's some definitely of the time stuff in it, but, one thing I do wanna bring up, though, give a shout out. Our boy Tubi is back. Got this on Tubi.
Yeah. Tubi Tubi gets my nomination for most innovative for 2026. I feel like
Thing's been
I've
around for
watched
10 years, but okay.
I've watched more movies on Tubi this year. I didn't okay, let me to clarify, I didn't even know Tubi existed before we started this podcast. And I think you texted me one time and said, like, whatever we were trying to review that one week, you were like, "Oh, it's on Tubi." I'm like, "The fuck is Tubi?" I thought you were just joking, like, because there's so many funny app names, like, yeah, I don't know, Tubi. Yeah, big shout out Tubi.
No,
Y'all are
Tubi is
doing
where movies pre-2013 go to survive, you know?
yeah, exactly. But yeah, the only thing that I don't like about Tubi is the ads, but I don't care. It gives me a chance to
Yeah.
check out for a minute or something, but
Yeah,
yeah,
get caught back
big
up on your notes, yeah.
big ups to Tubi. Uh,
Oh, man. Alright. So let's talk a little bit about the movie itself. I know we've talked about its accolades. Um, we gave Tubi a shout out. We briefly touched on Oscars, 6 Oscar nominations, right? Director, actor, screenplay. But this is when they had black and white categories. So art
mm,
design, cinematography, and costume won for costume. Actor was Jack Lemmon. I'm sure we'll get into him in our superlatives.
mhm.
He's only nominated actor of the whole crew, though, of the whole cast. And
I
he's probably
I
the most comedic, too.
I buy it.
Um,
I
yeah.
enjoyed him the most out of everybody.
Okay.
Spoiler.
Okay. Director though, Billy Wilder. Are you familiar with him?
No, but I was reading that, him and Marilyn, like, really clashed on set, and
Mhm.
there was just, like, a
This
lot
is
of
their
drama
second
and
movie
stuff. What was
too.
their first?
The 7-Year Itch. That's the classic Marilyn Monroe white dress over
Oh.
the great New
Huh.
York City photo.
Ok
Yeah.
okay. I didn't even
But,
know. I've never even heard those words before.
the 7-Year Itch?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, this is I think he's probably one of the directors I've seen the most from this era, Billy
Hmm,
Wilder, because 'cause he's got, like we should do Sunset Boulevard for this. I think it's his best film.
mhm,
Um Spirit of St. Louis, Sabrina, which they've remade like 600 times. That's an Aubrey Hepburn movie.
hmm.
The Apartment, which stars Jack Lemmon. And then 7-Year Itch, Double Indemnity. So he's got like some very, very, very famous movies. I think he's got like 4 movies that are in the 100 greatest movies of all time, like AFI list.
Hmm.
Um, some really iconic performances and iconic characters nominated in his own time 21 times at the Oscars and won 7 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wilder's putting up big numbers.
Yeah, and he's
That's
one of
an
those, like, early Jewish immigrants into Hollywood, right? Like, so he's a
mm,
that same group coming out of Europe from World War II and
mhm,
before I should not say World War II because he moved to the United States before that, but during the rise of Nazism in Germany,
mhm,
and in Austria and things like that. One thing I really liked about him, which you can tell from this movie, and I think this is what I was alluding to when we talked about Goodfellas and like my struggle with like Martin Scorsese movies or like Christopher Nolan movies too, is so Billy Wilder started out as a writer. So he's a writer first. And the directing, he's not like a very cinematic guy. He likes to just kind of keep it straight and like let the writing do the work of the storytelling, right? And let the
mm,
cinematography just not be distracting. I think when I was talking about like the technicalness or the coldness of like a Scorsese movie or Nolan movie, that's what I mean. I'm like, they're not writers first, right? They're not narrative first. They're like the idea, the story that they're telling, Martin Scorsese is much more of a storyteller, I personally think. Nolan is.
Mhm.
Like, Nolan is just like he just likes it. He gets an idea in his head, and he's like, "Oh, it'd be really cool if things went backwards through time," and then he writes a whole movie about that,
Yeah.
which is not maybe not fair, and he's like, "Oh, I really wanna film the largest explosion in the world's" Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah,
that like, I
exactly.
feel like he gets ideas, and he's like, "I wanna do this and this
Yeah,
story, and,
he's
it'll the story will make it work," but what I really liked about Billy Wilder movies is they prioritize story, and the cinematography is really not distracting me.
hmm.
And so I kind of agree with him in his philosophy about filmmaking. I don't know. I just want to talk about him for a minute. And do you have any opinions on old Billy Wilder?
I mean, I am not familiar with him. I
Mhm,
think it sounds like his legacy is pretty incredible
mhm.
to hear that he's had a lot of big movies and stuff. I mean, I definitely get what you're saying. Like listening to your take on him and like applying that to this movie because yeah, this movie is not. Was it? Yes, it was. It was nominated for best cinematography.
Yeah.
Jokes, jokes. Because there's not really any cinematography to be had here. It's just, I don't know, the camera is set up and it's like they say action and then, there's nothing crazy. But yeah, I think the star of this show is the jokes, it's the writing, it's the delivery from the actors
Yeah.
and
They
the
let the
actresses and
performance like
stuff.
just sit on the screen, right? They're not cutting around it. They're not,
Mhm.
doing a lot of crazy. They're not shooting it through a hole in the middle of a chair so that way you can see. I don't know.
It's it's not a taco within a taco.
Yeah, exactly. One thing so this movie has a famous line. The last line of the movie, like, "Nobody's perfect," or,
Mhm.
is like it's almost funny to think that that is, like, an original line. It's just such a part of our culture, but it's from this movie, which I think is really cool. And, like, one
Yeah.
thing, Billy Wilder, I think, really liked the line too. They talked I think I saw in the research that they wrote it in as a placeholder line, and then they couldn't think of anything better.
Mhm.
But his tombstone actually says, "I'm a writer, but then nobody's perfect." Like, that's what his tombstone, like, says on it. So he's like this movie quotes the thing that he wanted, or I don't know if he wanted it, but his estate put on his tomb, so which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's pretty neat. I mean, yeah, you're right. It is so ingrained into our culture. It's kinda hard to fathom that it came from this movie, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's really neat.
Any other notes you got before we get into our superlatives? Or you just wanna jump
Um,
into it?
no, everything is hyper specific, so let's jump.
Alright. So our superlatives are gonna be best scene, best character, worst character, or the weakest link in the film, age the best, age the worst, WTF are they talking about? What would be a sequel? Which I actually think I have a good one for this one finally. I think I'm
Mm,
like, I have an interesting sequel in mind.
yeah.
Or like, the kinda like what would happen the next day. Uh, and then last, we'll go over to hot takes and nitpicks. I don't have anything for age the worst, so we can skip that section this time. I don't have anything for nitpicks in the plot. I think it's gonna be we can skip both of those.
I am adding a new category. It's
Okay.
it's more of a spinoff of WTF are they talking about?
Okay.
It is called WTF is that?
Okay.
So,
Alright.
something to look forward to.
Alright. Alright, let's get into best scene. Why don't you nominate us? I'll let you kick it off.
Okay. I had written down okay, I feel like it is worth it to preface this with I had a lot of notes on singular jokes. There's so many scenes that have really funny, like, one-off jokes, but it's not an entire scene.
Okay.
For example,
Yeah, let's go through a few.
when we first meet Joe and Jerry, and they're at the club and they're talking about like, "Oh, we're gonna get paid. What are we gonna do?" Jerry wants to get his teeth fixed. Joe wants to go gamble it all away on, I think, dog
Gamble on
racing.
dog racing.
Yeah, right? But, like, they're over here, they're talking about what they're gonna do. Like, they see the police chief pulling out his badge and using his badge to, like, tap in his cigar, and they know, and they're like, "Oh, shit," and then they just start packing up
No, I like
their
they're
instruments.
mid playing. Everyone's still playing and doing the performance, and they're
Yeah,
like, "All right, let's go."
and
But
that's
they're pretty streetwise. I'll give them that.
yeah, and that scene right there, it's so funny. It's not an entire scene, it's just one little quiet moment, but
Yeah.
it's so funny. So I had a ton of those. I don't think that they are justified for best scene, but I think my favorite actual scene of the entire movie is the train scene. specifically when Sugar gets into Jerry's bunk when he's asleep. But it's I think okay, it's perfect because so it's prefaced with us seeing just how Jerry he is giddy to be on that train and to be around all of these women.
Yeah, he's
I mean, like, he's so much so that
he's hornballing it pretty hard, you know?
he is, like, he uses that example, he tells Joe that he had a recurring dream that he was locked in, like, what, like a sweets shop or
Yeah,
something,
yeah, yeah.
and he was surrounded by sweets, and so he's applying that to, like, "This is how I feel right now, Joe." But so anyway,
Joe's like, "No chocolate, no sweets, no," you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
he is so excited to be on that train that Joe has to tell him, "You have to calm down, and you have to stay in your bunk, don't do anything stupid." So, when Jerry gets woken up by Sugar in the middle of the night, and he is so excited, like, I think that whole the entire scene and everything that follows, I think that's what sold me on this movie, that's what sold me as Jerry being my favorite character.
Yeah, he's, like,
Um
crawling in and out of people trying to get
Yeah,
like, there's, like, 20 people in his bed.
like, you're talking about how there are several moments where you really you laughed out loud. I did that I had that moment when, Sugar was talking about getting drinks or something like that, and he's so excited, he says it might turn into a surprise party
No, that's the
where
thing, he, like, legit like, there's a point in that scene where he thinks he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get laid tonight," you know?
yeah, he's
Like
very serious, and, like, yeah, just him talking about, like, "Oh, it's a surprise party." I mean, like it's just really funny, but then
oh
he
my
gets
goodness.
upset because Sugar, climbs down and she's
And
looking I don't remember what she's looking for, and all the other girls
oh,
climb
she's
up
looking for I
there.
think she's going to get ice,
Yeah,
and
but
then J
yeah,
Josephine follows her.
yeah, and so the whole scene is capped off with and I mean, it's mildly humorous. I didn't find it as funny as just watching Jerry interact with just
Mhm,
everything that happened. But yeah, when Joe is talking to Sugar and it's like the bathroom or something,
mhm.
and she's describing how she used to fall in love with sax players. She's just describing him to the T, like perfectly. Just and he's just like, uh huh, uh huh.
Mhm. He's like,
Um,
"Note down glasses, got it.
yeah,
Note down millionaire, got it."
but just the whole that whole train scene, it was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it. That was my favorite.
Yeah, it was on my list for sure.
Hmm.
I think it's like it's the introduction of Marilyn Mon I mean, even you see her getting on the train, but it's like her first speaking time, right, is when she gets in there and everything, and
Yeah.
it's a good scene. I agree.
I I also like real quick side note too. So when we first meet the boys in like the gangster club, whatever in Chicago at the beginning of the movie, they are wildly different than what they turn out like the remainder of the movie. So when we first meet them, Joe is like the optimist. He's hey, let's go bet, let's go have fun, let's go do
Yeah,
this.
he's like the
Everything
not
is fine.
responsible one. Jack is the or
Yeah,
not Jack. Jack's
Jerry.
Jack Lemmon, but
Yeah,
Jerry is the more
Jerry
cautious,
does
responsible.
yeah, he wants to get his teeth fixed, he wants to pay their rent, he does not wanna take any risks whatsoever.
Mhm.
He's the pessimist, and when things start to go south, he's like, "Oh, this we're done, dude, like, what are we gonna do? We're done." But, like, as soon as they get on that train, it's almost like it doesn't flip because Joe still has fun,
Mhm.
and, with all the things, but Jerry, I guess, kinda comes out of his stick in the mud
Yeah.
personality, and he has more fun, so I
I
think that
almost think it's like the way it's written, I think that's a really good point, but it's almost like their characters are like Joe is the planner. Now,
mm,
when it's not life or death, he's planning terrible things, right? Like going to
yeah,
gamble all their money away. And he's like, but he's always scheming, always planning. And I think when it becomes life or death, he's like, I'm in my planning mode. We're gonna get on the train, we're gonna get to Florida, we're gonna go away. Obviously Sugar throws a little bit of a wrench in his plan, but
mm,
he's the planner. So it's like true to his character. It's just like when the pressure is on or when it's life or death, he's like, oh, my planning this goes into like overdrive where Jack's like he's just going with vibes. So when he's nervous, he's vibing to nervousness, right? When he's like around
mhm,
women, he's like, I'm vibing to women, whatever, right? Like
yeah,
he's like just like one guy's all vibes, one guy's a planner. And maybe that's how you could argue what the like almost the switch in characteristics in their character where all of a sudden like, yeah, it's like, I don't know. But anyways.
yeah.
It's kinda my take on, like, they can more try to be more consistent with their character,
Mhm.
but I agree. What other scenes you got? I know you said you wrote down a lot of jokes. What
Uh yeah, another one so when they first get to the train station, before all that happens,
mhm.
Jerry's not convinced that dressing up as women and going down there, like, he's just not convinced that it's gonna work. And they see they see a paper boy walking by screaming about, front page, like, the
Yeah,
massacre
mass
that they
murder.
witnessed. Yeah,
He's like,
and then
"Nope, nope."
Jerry, you see him physically straighten up, and he says, "You talked me into it," and then he just marches forward, like, no hesitation anymore, he's all about it,
Uh,
but, like, those 2 like, again, I think that's that it's like that generational humor that
mhm.
it's still funny today, and it'll probably be funny in another 100 years,
Yeah.
like, I don't yeah, some of
The
those that humor and those, like, little one-off jokes they're
the
really
one the
good.
one joke that got me good, and it's just the way, like, Tony Curtis sells it, but when, uh Marilyn Monroe asks, Daphne to carry her ukulele. He's like, "Oh, yeah, of course," and she's like, "Oh," and then Jerry, like, gives him a saxophone, he's like, "Alright," he's like, "Oh, thank you," and he's, like, fumbling with it. It got me good,
Yeah,
those
yeah. Or like, I don't this was not as funny, but I did think it was I guess it was just really interesting because clearly somebody thought it was funny. The
Mhm.
recurring joke about the O blood type.
Yeah,
They
that
bring
was
they
I had
bring
that
that
written
up.
down. Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but it comes up, like, probably 3 or 4 times throughout the movie. They talk about,
Yeah,
"I've
they're,
got
like,
O
stuck
I've
on
got
it.
O
They can't,
blood."
like, get past it. Yeah.
Yeah. But there is something that's kind of funny that because like, it catches you off guard, like, when you least expect it, here comes
Mhm.
the O blood type joke again, and
Yeah,
then you're kinda
yeah.
like, "Oh, shit, that's kinda funny." Um, but yeah, some of those, like, just the little one-off jokes, they're
Mhm.
really they're not long and played out like The Train, but they are still really, really good and real well done.
Yeah. I had the yacht scene when he, like, steals the boat and is driving it backwards because he can't get it to work properly,
Yeah.
and then it's like, I also think that, like, she calls him Shell Oil Junior, which is just really funny. She just doesn't know his name at all. It's just
Yeah.
Junior and Shell Oil,
Yeah.
I think is pretty funny. Her dress is ridiculous in that scene.
Which, because she was not wearing, like, any sort of bra under that
Well,
dress.
so yeah, there's no bra in anything that she wears half the time. And
Mhm.
then it's like it's got like a sheer top up to her neck, but like it's sheer and it's like barely she's barely contained in that thing, you
Yeah.
know? It's just it's like very distracting. But I mean, it's on Marilyn Monroe, so it's not negative necessarily, but
Mhm.
and then the way he tries to talk about, like, nautical terms the whole time he's on there, the one
Yeah.
line that really got me, he's like, "Oh, yeah, this ship's in ship shape." Like,
Yeah.
he just says ship 3 times in one sentence.
Yeah.
I don't know, and he's like, "Well, tech" he's like she's like, "Which one's starboard and which one?" He's like, "Well, technically, it's which direction you're pointing at."
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the way he's talking about it, just he's just making stuff up. And then I did have the blood type O because that comes up in that scene again too, and I'm like,
Yeah. It's
it's just
so
like I'm like I wrote down blood type O joke. Is this good?
it's it's just so random. I don't even remember how it pops up, but it's like it popped up at the very beginning, and then it just keeps coming back to them, and they keep
Mhm.
throwing it out there, but yeah,
And then
a
the
good
other
old
part of that scene that made me laugh too is like when she's like trying, his whole like scheme of like, I can't love. And she's like, let me, kiss it out of you or whatever. But I
yeah.
just love it kept like cutting between like Osgood and Daphne dancing and then them
Mm.
kissing and then back to Osgood dancing and then kiss. Like there's your cinematography right there, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's
Yeah,
your
yeah.
editing, I
Mhm.
guess. But I thought it was pretty funny. So I
Yeah.
don't know, I like that scene.
So the scene where they go on, Osgood's boat.
Yeah, where he, like, hijacks the little dinghy, drives
Mhm.
it backwards because he can't get it to work
Yeah.
because he doesn't know what he's doing. Like, he's like an excuse for everything. He's like, "Maybe it's out of gas. Maybe oh, it's broken. It's not because I don't know what I'm doing."
Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to just downplay the entire situation to
Yeah,
her.
yeah. And then I had this scene where he, like, shows back up the morning after too, and Daphne's like, "I'm engaged." He's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I know." It's like, "Well, what is he gonna do about the honeymoon?" She's like, "I don't know, Tahiti or whatever she says," you know? It's like, "I wanna do Niagara Falls."
Yeah, I think Jack Lemmon, Jerry, he's I mean, yeah, I'm jumping ahead, but he's so funny in
Yeah.
this movie. I thought between the 2 of them, I thought he was way funnier than who's Joe again? What's his name? Tony
Tony
Curtis,
Curtis,
sorry.
yeah. He's Jamie Lee Curtis's dad, I
Yeah.
believe.
Like, he has his moments, but, oh, there's just something about Jack Lemmon. He was so good in this. Even just, like, the
You
faces that he would make, and yeah,
I will
he's
we'll
funny.
get into him later, but, in a minute here. But, like, the one thing I did write down with this scene, I'm like, because these guys are supposed to be musicians, right? But they're more like hustlers, like shysters and con men than they
Mhm,
are like anything else. They're just kinda like they're like, "Oh, our goal is to play music, but we're like,
mhm.
money's money. We'll con our way into anything."
Yeah,
Whether
yeah,
that's a scam marriage or, pretending to be a millionaire to get, the girl or pretending to be girls to get in a band to get away from the mob. They're like, "Yeah, whatever. Yeah, we'll get paid, go to Florida, can get away from the mob." They're
yeah.
more
They
con men than
really
they are anything.
yeah, you're right. They're schemers, they're
Yeah,
shysties.
yeah.
Uh, yeah.
What about, the end chase, mob chase? How'd you feel about, like, how the movie ended?
Yeah, I don't know. I have so much of that part under nitpicks.
Okay.
I do think the pop out from the in terms of cinematography, the pop out from the cake into the
Mhm.
mass murder, it doesn't go down as best scene, but that was highly violent. When the
I
dude
know, right?
pops out with a Tommy gun and just starts spraying, I mean, it's actually, like, really well done and it almost feels like it doesn't fit in this movie because I thought, like, surely they're not just gonna
Yeah,
kill these
two
guys.
two two mass mur they witnessed 2 mass murders.
Yeah, yeah,
The
but
guys.
the whole thing is everything is just so for every serious, like, dramatic moment that should be in the film, I feel like you have 20 goofy moments.
Yeah.
So for that second mass murder, you have all of these mobsters who are there for, like, a convention in Florida. It's like a mob convention fest or something. And I mean, it's just so goofy. I mean,
They have one of those scenes in Godfather 2 when we get to that movie, so they got, like,
wow,
bring all
okay.
the no, I think it's Godfather 1 when they're like, "Bring the family together," and Marlon Brando's, like, leading it.
Huh.
But
It's yeah, it was very interesting, but,
it's like the 5 families, kind of thing.
yeah, I don't know, like, the goofiness of some of it, but the goofiness of the chase scene at the end, and they're, they're hiding under the table with it's like a dead body or something to try to get away from him at
Oh,
the
yeah, I
very
think it's
like
spats, they're wheeling out spats
yeah, and they're
through
hiding
the
under the
lobby.
yeah, like, everything is just so
No police there.
goofy.
Yeah, well, I guess the police are there, but, uh,
Yeah.
it's
Oh.
very no, it's good. What about trying to think of some of the other scenes. The beach scene where Shell Oil Jr. meets, Sugar.
Meets her for the first time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. Well, one, when he's, like, yelling at the kid because the mom is trying to get the kid
He's like,
to
"Yeah, scram, dude."
yeah, he's like, "Get out of here," and the kid, like, starts crying and runs to his mom. Um, yeah, that was really fun. I also really it was really funny because Jerry wants to go down to the beach sorry, Daphne wants to go down to the beach with Sugar because
Yeah.
Sugar's gonna be in her bathing suit, and he's he's a man wearing a women's bathing suit, but he's brave enough to try it. But yeah, then yeah, you have Joe down there and he's I don't know, the whole thing is just so funny.
It is well, I love Jack Lemmon, though, because like, it never occurs to him to, like, "Okay, well, I can also be a guy around her."
Mhm.
Like, I don't have to I mean, Daphne and, Jerry can't be in the room at the same time, but Jerry
Yeah.
can be in a room, you know? It, like,
Yeah,
never occurs
yeah.
to him. He's like, "I wanna spend time with Sugar, and I'm gonna go as Daphne to the beach, and then we're gonna throw around the ball and sing, like, songs about, like, I don't know, falling in love with the boy or whatever."
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I just love that Joe is like or is it Joe, right? That's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Joe is, he's like, "Ah, no, we can't why would I be Josephine around her?
Yeah.
I can't."
He has a very good plan. He steals, what's the dude's name? I can't remember he's like the assistant for the
Uh,
lady that runs the
Beanstalk.
Okay, yeah, very, very specific name. But he steals his suitcase so that he can wear nice men's clothes and dress up and make himself like, he has a plan, to your point, he is a planner,
Yeah,
and when he's not under pressure, he can actually formulate a really good plan. I mean, this
yeah,
thing was well thought out that he
yeah,
was going to
if not completely manipulative and,
they're all
terrible.
they're all really bad. I mean,
But again,
yeah,
he's a
well,
con man, right? He's a con man. He's conning his way into, her pants or whatever,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, well, I can't wait to we'll get to worst character because they're all arguably justifiably bad in their own sense, but
God, I love this movie so much. It's just an insane movie.
mm,
Alright. I'm with you, though. I think let's do train scene. Its introduction is classic. It's got hijinks. It's got backstory. It's got all the good stuff. I think that's the best scene.
yeah, it's fun. It's a
Yeah.
fun one.
It's got, like, 1,000 old-timey things to do, like breaking ice with a pick. You know?
Yeah.
It's funny. And Marilyn Monroe is pretty funny in those scenes too. It's surprising how funny she is,
Mhm.
because you just think of her as kinda like this sex symbol, pinup, you know, and she's actually pretty funny in some scenes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sugar was yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, well, let's get to her now. Let's do best character. So you wanna
Yeah.
start with Sugar or
No,
Kane?
yeah. Okay, so Sugar is your best character? That's who
No,
you're going
she's
with?
just I'm nominating people right now.
Yeah,
Nomination.
yeah. No, I okay,
She's good.
so, yeah, I my okay, my, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, my spoiler is that I've never seen a Marilyn Monroe movie before. I
Mm,
know who she is, but I guess seeing her for the very first time, I didn't know what to expect in terms of her being an actress. Um, but I feel like there were 2 different versions of Sugar that you get to see that I thought was really well done on her
yeah.
part, I guess is what I'm getting at. So Sugar, at, like, just normal conversations, she's almost kind of dumb.
Yeah, she's
Like,
ditzy. She
she's
plays the dumb blonde, but a very Marilyn Monroe character to
yeah,
play.
yeah, yeah, right? But then when she performs, I feel like she is hyper focused, very,
Mhm.
like, sultry, very intense and serious. It's the like, the furthest thing from Sugar as a regular character.
You mean when she's, like, singing and
Yes,
stuff? Yeah.
yes, when she's performing. Which
Yeah,
I but
she's
I
doing her
feel like
she's doing her Marilyn Monroe thing there, yeah, yeah.
mhm, yeah, I feel like that's really a testament to how well she can act. I mean, like, Sugar as a character, I think I don't know, I think you can argue that, like, maybe she's too I don't wanna say dumb to realize what's going on, but
She's very cliché, but she's only cliché because Marilyn, like, invented the
mm,
that cliché, like, everyone's bases their stuff on her, right?
yeah,
Yeah, but it comes off very cliché, dumb blonde now.
yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't
um,
a it was not to spoil what age is the worst or age is the best, but it does not age well because it's you almost feel you're like, "Oh, you honey, don't do that. You can be, you can do like" we watched, a Katharine Hepburn movie, and she's like elevates it, right? And she's very
mhm,
thoughtful, like she comes off as very smart and witty, where
mm,
Marilyn Monroe's one of the roles she kinda got stuck in was like the dumb blonde role.
yeah. See
This is my 2nd Marilyn Monroe movie I've seen. I think I've seen just 2, but
mm,
the first one that I saw was, Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire?
mm,
And it's about, like, 3 women trying to find millionaires, basically.
yeah,
But Marilyn Monroe is really funny in it because plays, like, against character. Like, she knows she's supposed to be the dumb blonde, but she's, like, a smart, nerdy person in it, and she, like, wears glasses, for example, and she can't see without her glasses in that movie, so she keeps taking them off when she's around men because she's like, "I'm supposed to be the dumb blonde, pretty dumb blonde." And
mm,
then, like, when she's trying to do it, she's, like, fumbling because she can't find things, and she can't see things.
mm,
But, like, it's, like, kinda she, like, plays into the stereotype with that movie, which is, I think, pretty fun. But
yeah,
yeah, I like her. Again, and she's
yeah, yeah,
iconic.
yeah.
It's, like, kinda cool to see an icon in action,
Mm.
right,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. No, for sure. I agree. Because I
Mm.
feel like I was excited to see 'cause I feel like everybody knows who Marilyn Monroe
Yeah,
is, but
yeah.
yeah, it was really fun to see what she was like.
That's kinda like James Dean, like, he's, like this, like, icon, like, his look and his attitude and all that stuff. I've never seen a James Dean movie. I think we have
Mm,
one on our list because like, I gotta actually see him in action, like, see what his acting is all about and, like, why he was so famous other
yeah.
than just being a cool looking guy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, I mean, I think I don't know, in terms of, like, best character, I had Jerry down for mine.
Yeah.
I feel like just because I really enjoyed just so many of his scenes. I feel like whenever he was in scenes with Joe, I don't know, I feel like he kinda stole a lot of them because he was just so funny, but,
Yeah. Well, he's
um
nominated for best actor in this movie, right? Like, he's
mhm. But I mean, like, in terms of I don't know, like, in terms of all the
and he didn't
characters.
have when this movie came out, he didn't have, like, the star power of, like, Tony Curtis or Marilyn Monroe at the time.
Mm.
So the fact
Yeah,
that he comes out with kinda the Oscar nominee is pretty impressive. But he's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
This is, I think, my 5th Jack Lemmon movie I've watched,
Mhm.
and, um, he's really interesting. He he is in a lot more stuff than, like, you as from our youth than I remembered. You know, like, do you remember that movie, Grumpy Old Men?
Yeah, you've told me about it.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
is
I
Jack
know it, but
yeah, Jack Lemmon is the other one in Grumpy Old Men. I was like, "Oh."
mm,
As a kid, it's like, "Oh, yeah, that was him,"
yeah,
just as, like, an old man, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
yeah, but he's good. He's in the another Billy Wilder movie that he's in is, The Apartment,
Mm,
and I think I've told you about that movie too, and
mhm,
it's good. It's
yeah,
honestly usually considered Billy Wilder's best movie,
mhm,
The Apartment. It's also wildly it's a comedy. It's
yeah.
another wild premise, but
I mean, after watching Jack Lemmon in this movie, yeah,
mhm.
I would be down to watch more movies with him because he was just really, really good.
Yeah, he's
Very
front
highly
and
entertaining.
center in The Apartment. He's like the lead in
Yeah,
it, so, yeah.
yeah.
He's nominated for
Um,
that comes out the year after this movie, so, like, 2 of Billy Wilder's, like, considered some of his best considered movies, like, come out back to back,
mhm,
which is pretty impressive.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Jerry's my favorite. I mean, I like Joe. I have nothing against Joe.
Yeah.
He was totally fine. I just Jerry stole the show for me.
I wrote down for Tony Curtis, he kinda looks like if Tim Curry and RDJ had a baby.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
yeah.
what he looks like.
He has some very distinct features. I mean,
Mhm.
I obviously I was like researching and saw he's Jamie Lee Curtis's dad, which like duh, but he looks nothing like her. Like he has a very distinct look.
Yeah, he
Uh,
does. He does.
but
Yeah, no, I liked him. I think his the interesting thing about both of those characters, like the girl acting, I don't know, do you have if you have this later in a topic, but like the like girl acting is so interesting with the like woo, the kind of like their mannerisms and the way they talk. And
mhm.
I do wonder because for me, I'm like, well, that's like how any guy would pretend to be a girl, be like, "Ooh, my name is Josephine," kind of thing. But I
Yeah.
almost wonder if like the cliche that how we all do that as, like, little kids and or having a mind like, I wonder if it, like, comes from these guys.
Mm.
Like, these guys invented and performed the way that we all now do, like, the fake girl voice or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it's
I mean, I think
interesting.
it's highly possible.
Yeah. Because I think it is I wonder, I wonder, like, are they trying to really sell that they're women? Or
Mhm.
is it just like? Because there's no way I walk into a room, shave my beard off, put on a wig, and go, "Hello, my name is, Zacharina," and,
Yeah,
like, no one's gonna believe for a second that I'm a girl.
yeah,
So it's like, I'm like, I don't know if they're trying to be believable or not, right? Or just in '59, they're like, "Yeah, this'll pass," you know?
yeah. I mean, it's really I mean, it's really funny to see their attempt because everything from their mannerisms to how they're dressed up, but I feel like when they're walking to the train, it's like their first time in their outfits, and the camera pans down, and it gets a shot of them
Oh,
from the
yeah.
back, and you see their muscular
No,
legs.
their calves are popping.
Yeah. I feel like it's so funny. So, yeah, to your point of, like, how hard are they trying to act like women,
Yeah.
but then there are just certain things that they can't you can't mesh, like, the physique of a man's big muscly
Yeah,
legs.
broad shoulders and muscular legs, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, any other characters like Sweet Sue or Beanstalk? Any of those,
No, I
highlights?
don't
No?
know. I mean, like, they're fine. I don't know. I don't I'm not trying to like uh spill over into worst character here. Everybody was really good, I thought. I don't
Yeah.
know if I saw anybody that was like, "Ew, they're terrible," or "I don't like that character." I mean, even Spats Columbo.
That guy is famous for being a mob boss guy. Like the
Mhm.
his we want again. This is probably this is like when the age is the worst is because the meta commentary of the time gets lost over time when it becomes less familiar. But that
Yeah.
actor like basically played the same character in other movies, and so they cast him as like kind of like a meta commentary on like the more serious mob movies, right? To lend
Yeah.
it would be like casting Al Pacino or Robert De Niro as the mob boss for in a comedic movie,
Yeah. Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing. I'm trying
Wait,
to think. Yeah, good.
so who is your pick for best character?
Osgood Fielding the third.
You go, "Oh, that's good."
Osgood or Osgood. No, sorry. No, I agree with you. I think Jack Lemmon is like he stands out in this movie, right? Marilyn Monroe when she's on the screen, she's very captivating. You're like, but again, like she's so iconic. I'm like, okay, I just want to like pay attention because this is the Marilyn Monroe moment, like But
Mhm.
and then I like Tony Curtis in it. I think he's very good. He's a nice kind of like he's not a straight man, but he's kind of a nice foil to like Jack Lemmon's almost he's got the like the facial expressions and the silliness and the rubberiness of like
Jim Carrey and
I
Dumb
was
and
gonna say
Dumber.
like Jim Carrey, but
Mm.
without like the, leading romantic interest kind of feel that Jim Carrey can sometimes have. So
Yeah.
like he's a leading man, but he's also kind of diminutive,
Yeah.
which is he's like a diminutive Jim Carrey, which I kind of really like and enjoy.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Like he doesn't have quite all the super duper silliness, but he's got that rubberiness to his face and his expressions are very big.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a reason why he was nominated.
Yeah. No, he's good. I really enjoyed him.
All right. You wanna get to worst character?
Yeah, I mean, I okay. Well, if we take it to the actual characters, not the actors or the actresses, because I feel like from an acting standpoint, they're all really good. Um,
Mhm.
but I think you can absolutely throw worse characters from their just Joe, Jerry, and Sugar, all three. They're actually really
Oh, yeah, from
not.
the character, they're worse people. Not
They're not great people.
Sugar's not terrible. I think like, because she's not trying to con anybody. She's just
No,
but
but Sugar's motivation, and I don't know, she explicitly comes out and says it at any point, but her driving motivation is to find a rich man. Like, it
yeah.
doesn't matter about love, it doesn't matter because she talks about how she fell for all these saxophone players who, just used her and kicked her to the curb, whatever. So she wants to find a rich man. Doesn't matter, and so that's all Joe needs is, "Okay, well, I just have to play the part and boom, I can bag this girl." And so, like, yeah, when you look at it from that standpoint of Sugar did she's not it struck me because it's so different, I feel like, than what we see in modern movies, because in modern movies, I feel like, people are in it for true love, true romance. I wanna find my soulmate, the right one. No, man, Sugar didn't want that. She just wanted that money, and that's
I'll
fine.
give you, one guess what How to Marry a Millionaire is about.
Mm, there you go. So she is essentially plays like the same exact character. But yeah, it's hard to you can't really sit here and knock on Sugar too bad because both Joe and Jerry are arguably way worse. They are manipulating her along with everybody else.
I
Uh,
think I think Joe's even worse, right?
yeah,
Jerry, he's stuck in the situation. He's like a it's like his manipulation is like a product of circumstance. Like they decided to dress like girls to escape the mob.
yeah,
Odd, but like understandable what they're trying to do.
yeah.
Like Joe is like, all right, new plan. I'm gonna completely manipulate my way into her pants. It's like I'm gonna use Josephine to get the intel. Then
Mhm.
I'm gonna use Shell Oil Jr. to to lay down thick. I'm gonna rope in my buddy and make him go out with, Osgood so that
Yeah.
he can so I can steal, I can use his yacht, like,
And it
he's got a
it
plan.
it doesn't feel like he has a long-term
No,
plan. Like,
I don't even
he just wants to have a one-night fling with Sugar. Like,
yeah, or
that's it.
something, yeah,
Yeah,
like
like, it doesn't feel like it's like, "Oh, I love this girl. I wanna be with this girl. I wanna marry this girl." It doesn't I didn't get that. So he goes through all this trouble to manipulate her just to sleep with her.
and then I think he does catch feelings. I think, like, the
Mhm,
genius of this movie is both of the men kinda start at this chauvinistic level, and they start to as they are women, they start to understand the woman's perspective more.
mm, yeah.
Like the scene where, uh, Jack Lemmon gets pinched in the elevator and it
Oh,
goes up and
nay.
then comes right back down, and I love the way he smacks her. It's like very, you know,
Yeah,
or smacks him. I love the way
yeah,
that Daphne smacks Osgood. But uh, or like the bellboy who's like, trying to go out with Josephine, kind of
mhm,
thing.
yeah.
It's like they kind of learn, and so at the end of the movie, Josephine or Joe sees her singing that sad song, "I've given up on love," for the whatever, and then he goes up and kisses her in drag, but he tells her, like, he's like, "Don't let a man ever do that to you, no man is worth this," or whatever, and,
Mm,
like, he even sees, like, "Okay, I'm the problem,"
yeah,
and so they both grow. It's like one of the, like, kinda the redeeming factor and the what elevates this movie, I think, is they go through all the shenanigans, they dress up like women, ha ha ha, but there's like actually a point to it for their characters and their character development. Anyways, but yeah, Jack Lemmon best character.
and worst character,
Joe. Joe. Now, okay, I have a list of some bad acting
mm,
characters.
okay.
So I think the guy who plays Little Napoleon, the like lead mob bot guy, when he's giving the speech about
Oh, at
like
the end,
that you're
at the
gonna,
very end?
yeah, when he's like about to kill um uh Spats.
Yeah.
And he's like, "So," and he gets very big, and then he's like, "Some would say you're out of control." And he's like, "But I don't think you're out of control." So, and he's like up and down, just
Yeah.
very dramatic.
Mhm.
That was one. The other mob guy that gets killed, Toothpick Charlie, when they're about to
Mhm.
shoot, and he's like, "No, Spats, no, no." It's like some of the worst acting I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other guy who I had, this is like, honestly, this is my lead contender for worst character. Is the henchman who, as they're walking into Florida, the mob guys and Spats and his crew, and there's the guy flipping the quarter. Some of the worst quarter flipping I've ever seen. I don't know if this guy's ever flipped a quarter in a day in his life before he filmed that scene. He's
I
like,
didn't even see that. I
no,
need to look that up now.
he flips it in the air and then he catches it like a very this is, I don't know, pedantic and stupid, but like when you flip a coin, the cool way to catch it is to let it come to you,
Yeah.
right? You don't like go out and grab it because you're panicking that you might not catch it. This guy's flipping it every time and he's going out and grabbing it in full panic mode. And I'm like, this actor has never flipped a quarter a day in his life. This is not his thing in real life.
Wow.
So worst
And here
character for his quarter flipping, in my opinion.
and here we are almost 70 years later, and he's probably rolling over in his grave, so embarrassed about that coin flipping, and we're here talking about it. I didn't even see it. I need to go back and look at it now because I feel like that would be funny.
Yeah, I thought there was definitely some overacting by some of the side mob characters. They're just like
Mm,
really hamming it up.
mhm.
And then the coin flipping, I was like, wow, that's some bad acting. Um, but anyways, no, I'm with you. I think Joe is the most deplorable character of the film, but he grows, he learns.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
And then coin flipper is the worst character. Coin flipper henchman. I'm not sure he has a character has a name in it, but
He does now.
all right. You want to get to what's aged the best?
Yes, I have a very specific one. Uh,
Okay.
okay, I think, like, the more serious one, the humor. Humor,
Yeah.
I think, for the most part, is great. But that's not why we're here. Age the best, Spats, Columbos, bodyguards, hitmen, gangsters, whatever. The casting director casting these men, hands
Nail on the
down, the
head.
best
Yeah.
thing that it aged perfectly, like a fine wine. These men are so ugly and they are so
Mean and
dumb.
tough and
Yeah. Like, without even knowing what this movie is about, without knowing who these characters are, what their place is, what their role is, you can look at them and know you guys are bad, and, like,
yeah.
you're gangsters. You look like you're just a hired hitman or muscle or something. You don't think for yourself. Like, whoever casted those men, bravo,
There you
'cause,
go.
they are, like, quintessential 1920s, like, gangster mob-looking
Mm.
person.
No, that's a great call. That's a really good call. I like that one a lot. I had, I just had, like, Prohibition as, like, a movie time period.
Yeah,
Gangster Prohibition movie. Yeah, it's a great
it's always fun.
yeah, great
Yeah.
premise.
Mhm.
The hotel that they're at in Florida, that's a nice ass hotel. I was like, "This is pretty swanky." I like
Don't
that hotel a lot.
don't get me started on that. That's under my nitpicks. Don't you take that from me.
Okay. I'm just saying, I like when the opening shot when you first see it, it's got that really pretty, like, atrium to the side or whatever. Yeah, that was
Mhm.
great. I had, when sh oh, they recommend him or when he's talking about, like, how he's, like, impotent or can't fall in love, she's like, "Have you seen Freud? Have you been to the Mayo Brothers?" I just love that, like, they were alive. You
What
think
is
about the
that?
Mayo Clinic or
Oh,
Sigmund Freud,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
They're like
yeah,
their philosophies are institutions.
yeah. Yeah,
They're not people.
yeah,
But,
yeah. That's fun. I didn't even catch that, but that's really
um
good, yeah.
I had I know you said it's kinda funny, but, like, the mob meetings where, like, the families get together, that's, like, a
Mhm.
very cliche mob thing, but it always works. Um, and then I had, like, the progressiveness of this movie. I
Yeah.
think it's like, again, we'll get into the age the worst here in a second, because I do think there's things that, are from 1959. But I
Mhm.
think, like, it's cool to see, like, people trying to be progressive in this time period.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Any other those are what my list had. Any other age the best for you?
Mm. No, I mean, the humor was always that
Yeah,
was my
it's great.
biggest, but we can talk for days about the humor because it's really good. But yeah, I like all of yours too. Those are really good points.
Yeah. Alright. Age the worst.
You start it because I think your list is probably I have a lot of hot takes and nitpicks, but I only
Sure.
have one age the worst. So you start age the worst.
Um, in the beginning scene when they're at when Jack God, I keep calling him Jack, not Jack Lemmon, but, when Joe and Jerry are, like, I don't know what this building is that has all the music, I guess, like, agencies, and they're knocking on the
Oh
door. "Any work for me? No? Okay."
yeah,
I don't I don't know what business this is, like, building.
yeah.
But, when they one of the women, when they go or excuse me, when it cuts away from them and it goes to the scene where they're calling for the different women, it's like I forget what
Mm,
his name is. It's like Polka something is
yeah.
the agency guy, and he's calling around and he's asking, I don't know if it's his secretary or business partner or something, about different women, and they ask about one of them, and she's like, "Oh, no, she, slashed her wrists when Valentino died." I'm like, "Wait, did you just casually be like, 'Oh, we can't use her, she killed herself?'" I was like, "Whoa."
I didn't even catch that one. Whoa, yeah.
I was like, "Casual suicide, okay, that doesn't age really great,"
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. God.
maybe I'm like,
I
"Maybe it's a metaphor." I'm hoping it's a metaphor, but I'm like,
yeah.
that didn't age well to me."
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it
Um,
means, like, she's depressed or something.
yeah.
I don't know, yeah.
What was your one?
That's a good one. Joe's rich guy accent because
Yeah.
it bound I don't know if this was supposed to be on purpose or if he just is really bad at accents, but it bounces from British to I know I heard Australian and
I
then
thought he was
back
Australian
to
when it first started, yeah.
yeah, I swear he kinda rolls some, like, New Yorker in there too, but
Mhm.
it's just all over the place, and it drives me nuts because I don't know, I feel like I'm always whenever you see I feel like when foreigners do American accents,
Mhm.
it's always generally really good, but whenever you hear a bad American doing a foreign accent, it sticks out, like, really,
Mhm.
really bad to me, and, this one was pretty bad.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
it was just
it
everywhere.
it's supposed to be based on Cary Grant, which I did not get at all. I
I
was
don't
like, "Nah, I don't hear that at all."
yeah.
Like, I
It's
think the
just
whole
weird.
persona was kinda supposed to be Cary Grant-esque, which
Mm,
I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." But yeah, I agree with you, it does not age well.
yeah.
It's a
It's
pretty goofy one, very
yeah.
distracting. Again, it's, like, very unbelievable,
Mhm.
the disguise that he's putting on.
Like, I feel like, this is gonna sound, like, very overly dramatic, but I feel like I could not focus on what he was actually saying and trying to do because I was so trying to figure out his accent. Like, where's he
Yeah.
supposed to be from? What is he supposed to be doing? Um, but that's my age the
Yeah.
worst.
I had, when, like, Marilyn Monroe, like, gets introduced, she's like, "Bow down, wow, wow," like,
Mm,
the sexy, like,
yeah.
it's so cliche. I'm like, and I know maybe this movie started it, I don't know, but it's just,
Yeah.
like, it sticks out as, like, okay, that's not aged well.
It's almost
Um
like an old school, like, Tom and Jerry cartoon or something when they see, like, a pretty pretty girl.
There's so many times too when they, like, fall and they're pinching butts or slapping butts. I don't know. There's, like, the scene where Daphne is getting on the train and she slips and Beanstalk, like, pats her on the butt and goes, "Oopsie daisy," and then
Mm, yeah.
she's like, "Fresh." No, I'm not sure what fresh means in
Yeah.
that context.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it didn't age well. But, I mean, like I said, I think we can critique, like, the portrayal of a man playing a woman in drag and all that stuff and how it's played for jokes, and I think you could argue maybe that hasn't aged well and, I don't know, like, an
Eh,
overly sensitive
yeah.
woke time
I
period, but
I
I
don't
think
know. I mean,
I don't think it's played disrespectfully.
no, I don't think it is either. And I feel like if you were, if for some reason it bothered you, which I don't see how it could, because yeah, they weren't. I didn't find anything disrespectful, but um, I don't know. I feel like then you would have to pick apart that is the movie. That's the whole thing in a nutshell is them pretending to be women. That's
Yeah.
the pull of it.
But they're not doing it I mean, it's played for laughs, but
Mhm.
the narrative is not for, like, I don't know, it's just it's not like they're making fun of someone in drag, right? Like,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
doing anything like that, it's much more wholesome, and I think in its approach, but
For sure.
yeah, that's all I had, though, for now. I think, like, half of mine end up being nitpicks anyway, so I think, well, I'll save them for nitpicks, so
Yeah. Good. Hot takes and nitpick section coming in hot. Um, but first, WTF are they talking about?
Yeah,
I'm
uh
I know you had a lot because you're Mr. Subtitle.
for sure. Alright. I think this means alcoholism, but it says I think it's Marilyn Monroe that says, "That's because I've been on the wagon," but I'm like,
Oh, no,
is she talking
is the police
Yeah,
chief
yeah, 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 the police
in the very
chief.
beginning. I wrote that one down too.
Yeah, I have no
Yeah,
idea what that means.
I have no idea. Yeah, it's, over my head.
Yeah, the
No
police
clue.
chief is, like, half of mine, that's what it is, not Marilyn Monroe, yeah, that's right, thank you. Um, and then I think this one is the one that I wrote that, I think Marilyn Monroe says, like, "Well, isn't that just a bit of terrific?" And I'm like, "A bit of terrific, okay."
Yeah, it's a weird one. I had
Um
down when Osgood is he's on the phone with Joe, but he's trying to get Jerry to come aboard his yacht, and he tells him, "I have a new batch of Rudy Valley records." I mean, clearly, I think that's a musician. Rudy Valley's a musician, but I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Well, it's like I think it's Joe that says, like, "This is the biggest thing since Graf Zeppelin." I'm like, "Is Graf Zeppelin a person? Is that
Yeah,
a band?" I have no idea what
what
that means.
what
It's a
is
boat,
that?
it's a ship, it's an airship, it's a Zeppelin. He's referring to a Zeppelin airship. It's like,
Oh,
it's the biggest thing since airships, but nah, totally over my head.
jeez, yeah, I didn't catch that one. These subtitles. Maybe I need to start watching with subtitles.
Ma
Maybe I
Ma
pick up more.
Marilyn Monroe, she calls Goosebumps Pimples.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It's like goose pimply all over. Ugh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Don't
a
like
weird
that.
one. Yeah.
Um, they also kept referring to the milk fund.
Yeah, what was that about?
So I think it has to do with, like, Depression era 1930s policy. I think it's something that, FDR put in place, but it's some but lost to me, right? Like,
Yeah, I
no
don't
idea what they were talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, there's, like I think there's a ton of names, like, he calls her a Vassar girl. I have no idea what Vassar is, it's a college. It's like, it means smart, right? Like a smart girl. He says, like, something about, like, Diamond Jim Brady. I have no idea who Jim Brady is, like, that like, all those kinda,
Mm,
like, name references
yeah.
were, totally lost on me. There's not too
Yeah.
many, like, colloquialisms in it, but it's a lot of them come from, like, the police chief when he's, like, talking to the mob, and he's like, "What do you think you're" it's like, "A Vassar girl got a" he can't I can't understand what he's saying half the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only had those 2,
Okay.
but I do have my new category. WTF is that?
Yes.
Um, okay, at the very end, at the mob convention, what did you call him? Little Napoleon, the main
Yeah,
mob
Little
boss?
Napoleon, I think is his name.
The device that he was wearing, he's wearing, like, this box on the front of his suit
Yeah,
jacket, and then it looked like headphones going up into his ears. At first, I was like, "What on earth is that?" Because it's very prominent, like,
sure.
you see him wearing headphones, like, "What is happening here? What how and why are there" it looks like he had on, like, a Walkman, like an old school cassette player or something.
Do you know what did you look up what it is?
Well, I'm gonna guess it's a hearing device.
It's a hearing aid. That's a hearing
Yeah.
aid. Yeah.
'Cause yeah, like, he was, like, he was turning the dial on it, and
Mhm,
then the
and then
police
the
chief
police chief
comes and
grabbed
talks into it.
yeah.
But yeah, it was just very I don't know, similar to what was it that we watched? Casablanca,
Yeah.
when they had a disco ball just randomly in there. Like, seeing that thing, whatever it was, it just threw me off because I was like, "Wow." Like, it looks like a music player
Yeah.
with headphones, but yeah,
Yeah,
very
it's an old school hearing aid. So my family still talks about this. So my grandma was really young when she had my parents, and her parents were very young. So when, I had a great-grandmother for a long time growing up, and then I think my great-great-grandmother only died relatively close to when I was born. So I
uh,
almost had, like, a great-great-grandmother. I was, like, missed it by, just a little bit.
mhm.
But my great-grandma used to have that hearing aid with the box, and so
That's
people always talk about how she would call it her machine. Like,
wow.
like, I knew about it, so I knew about those since I was, like, a little kid, because there's always, like, "Oh, my machine," is what they'd always make fun of, like,
Yeah,
how she would say it and stuff growing up.
yeah,
But yeah, so yeah,
that's
those
nutty.
old school hearing aids is
Uh-huh.
pretty funny. Um, yeah, there's a couple other things that I saw that I was like, I have no idea what they're grabbing or what they're referring to. I think like one time they're talking about making a phone call and he's like, call like Nelly Will 994 or whatever. But I'm like, what? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like talking to the operator or something.
but it was funny to see that a hearing aid. It stands out like a sore thumb because you're like, wait, what the hell's going on here? What is
Yeah,
this?
it's
But
very, very bizarre.
yeah. All right. You want to get to sequels?
Yeah, let me hear your sequel pitch.
Okay. So they've just witnessed two big murders. The entire mob, like they got their like RICO charge going. They just arrested the entire mob in Florida.
Mhm.
Like they're key witnesses to the legal criminal proceedings that have to
Yeah.
happen. They're in the room for two mass murders, including the one that, like not only can you get them pinched on racketeering charges, but you can also like now pinch them for murder, right? Like,
Mhm.
an accessory to murder. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, so they're going into witness protection. They got to go back in disguise again. This time Jerry's the romantic lead because we already got like one, we have to get rid of Marilyn because
Mhm.
she passes away relatively quickly after this movie.
Mm,
So, without, like, losing the character of Sugarcane, if they go in witness protection, Sugarcane can't come with them.
mm.
So, she's
Yeah.
written out of the movie, but she's not, like, written out of their lives.
Yeah.
And then it focuses on Jerry's romance, and then the next year after this movie comes out, Shirley MacLaine plays, uh in The Apartment, plays Jerry's romantic interest in that lead in that movie, and they have really great chemistry in that movie. I was like, "Huh," put Shirley MacLaine and she's much more quirky. She's, like, much more suited to
To
him
him.
than,
Yeah.
like, a Marilyn Monroe is.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, you got a witness protection legal comedy. They're having to dress up again because of witness protection. You get
Mhm.
Shirley MacLaine as Jerry's love interest, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you put, like, some other mob guys in who are trying to get him, to get them like so that like kill them so they can get off the witness list and things like that. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
That's my
Boom.
sequel.
There you go. I think it's perfect.
Good. All right. Good. And
I
you
didn't
did
re
you have did you have any thoughts?
I mean, I don't know. Not as good as that. I just had, like, they would go down on Osgood's yacht to, I think Joe says, like, "Let's go somewhere tropical," or
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
They throw that out there.
And
So
then Jerry's like, "Well, we can buy bananas. We'll eat a banana, only bananas. I
yeah,
think we can survive there for 10 years."
yeah, exactly. So I had
When they get
down,
the
like,
when they get the bracelet, they're talking about it.
oh, yeah. I had have them all go down on Osgood's yacht somewhere tropical, and like, they're still on the run. They're still trying to run from maybe some other mob members that, like, didn't get pinched or something, but eventually Jerry would have to tell Osgood that he's a man, and, like, that is your big key moment, and what that whole encounter could be fun to deal with. But no, I like your, witness protection sequel way better.
Okay, good. All right. I was like, Mike, I got to get another reason why they would be in drag, right? I'm like, oh, we'll put them in witness protection, be hiding their identity.
Yeah,
So
it's perfect.
yeah. All right. Hot takes, nitpicks,
Yes.
clean movie.
No, yeah, I don't have anything. It's perfect through and through. All right, number 1 nitpick. Whoever is running the mob and, like, planning on all the events, they have to do better. Their security is terrible. One, they let in the police chief at the very beginning in Chicago.
Yeah.
Just let him
Everyone
in.
knows who he is. He's a Chicago police chief.
Just let him in. They asked him basic questions. He gave like, whatever bullshit answers, but okay, just go right on
To
in.
Mr. Mozzarella.
He even
That's the
he
guy's
even
name.
yeah, he
The
even
club owner. Mozzarella.
he told, Toothpick Charlie told him, like, "If you want a front row seat, tell him that you're a pallbearer." So that seems like that would be high insider knowledge. And
It's
so
so
this
true.
random dude who you've never
Uh,
seen says, "Oh, and I'm a pallbearer." You know what? Go right ahead. You go right on in there. We'll get you a table right up front. But then at the very end, down in Florida, th they just know where I don't know. The police chief and all of them storm right on in and get all of the mob. Like, is nobody watching the door? Is nobody trying to tell them, like, "Hey, guys, there's a bunch of cops outside."
the coin flipper was in the cake, man. He couldn't be watching the door.
Yeah. I don't know, but I like, just seeing how bad their planning was. They got busted twice. Yeah, the mob needs to do better.
Well, in their defense, I think the cops are pretty inept too. Like
Mhm.
I was one of my opening nitpicks. The opening scene when they're driving and the cops, like 4 or 5 of them are leaning out of the car, just shooting into
Oh,
busy
yeah.
streets everywhere. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure they killed like 6 bystanders
Hey,
at least.
since you bring that up, big shout out to, I guess, the stuntmen, those cops that are hanging on the side of that car, because that car does almost like a Tokyo Drift, like, spin out, and they're hanging on to the side of it the whole time. Because I remember thinking, watching that scene, like, "Oh my god, they're actually, like, doing this. These people are gonna
Yeah.
fly off the car." Yeah.
Just when they were shooting at the first thing I saw was like opening scene, like that nitpick shooting into the public.
Yeah. Yeah, cops and the mob, they both need to step their game up.
All right, what's your next one?
Okay, going back to the hotel. So, I don't know if you're familiar, so that is the, like, famous Hotel del Coronado in
Okay.
it's not, I don't think it's in San Diego, I think it's near San Diego or next to
Oh,
San
okay.
Diego. Um, but it's supposed to be in Florida. But it is such an iconic hotel now. Maybe it wasn't back then and they could just, play it off and nobody was the wiser. But now, maybe I should have put this under H the worst. Looking at it immediately, I was like, That's not Florida. What are they doing in San Diego?" And it's,
Yeah, that's
uh,
like in Superman, the Christopher Reeve one. They're
mhm.
in New York City, right? Like it's filmed in New York. There's New York buildings, Chrysler buildings in there, and they're like, "Yep, it's Metropolis." And I'm like, "No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's New
Yeah.
York."
I mean, not this movie is going for full-blown realism and immersion,
Sure,
but,
sure, sure,
like,
sure.
I did have to double check myself because I was like, "They said they were going to Florida," but, like, you see the hotel and you're like, "It's not Florida."
Yeah, I mean,
So
you could think you could find a set in Florida, right? But yeah,
yeah, just, like, literally any hotel. I mean,
I did not know that, but I'm not as
it's a
cultured as you,
very
so.
it's a beautiful hotel. I mean, if you I don't know, maybe if you saw a picture of it, 'cause
It looked incredible. I was like, "Wow, this place it looks, insane."
I feel like if you see a color photo, maybe it'll look more familiar because it has
Mhm.
a very distinct, like, red roof, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
I did not pick that up in the movie either, no, yeah.
Yeah, it's in black and white, you would never know it, but if you see like, next time you're just sitting awake, bored, and you're on your phone, you should look it up, because maybe
Okay.
you might be
That's
familiar with it,
yeah.
but
No,
but
I totally get that. It's like, yeah, you're supposed to be in yeah, they're like, "Oh, this is a shot in LA," and it's like they're wearing parkas because 'cause they're shooting it in Vancouver. You're like, "Yep, that's not LA," you know?
mhm, yeah,
I had, like, when they're on the run, they just are talking about how they have no money. They didn't
mm.
get paid because the cops broke up the speakeasy. They can go immediately buy a whole wardrobe of women's clothing. Like, where did they go get all that clothing?
Yeah, yeah, and, like, makeup and
Everything.
purses and accessories, everything, yeah.
Yeah, they buy, like, a whole traveling wardrobe. Like, if I
I Yeah,
for 2 weeks?
they were talking about selling their, like, coats, their overcoats,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
just
they
to get
did that
some.
because the next thing they're missing their coats, but they went and bet it all. Remember, they don't have any money because they
Oh,
lost it all on
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
dog.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe they had a Goodwill back in, like, the '20s or something.
Yeah, I mean, they can go buy a whole wardrobe of women's clothing, but they can't go buy a coat again? I don't know.
Mm,
That was one of my
yeah,
nitpicks. Alright, what do you
yeah.
got?
Um, yeah, you talked about it, you touched on it. Jerry's engagement to Osgood,
Mhm.
when Joe comes back after his, overnight romp on the yacht with Sugar, Jerry is just, like, smitten. Like,
No,
he's all in
he's
on
lost
this
it.
engagement. Well, it was so bizarre because at first, I mean, like, clearly, he's like, "I don't wanna be left alone with this man," and, like, he doesn't wanna it it seems like them and us as the audience, we're all on the same page that Jerry does not wanna be in a romantic relationship with another man, and then you think he's, like, joking about this engagement, but then as he talks, he's very serious, and Joe is like, "What are you talking about? You can't marry him."
Yeah, it's the most unbelievable part of the movie where you're
Yeah.
like, he's almost delusional, and you're kinda like it's played for jokes, it's just meant to be funny,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is like, you're like, "Oh, that's like his character's
That
not that stupid," you know?
like, out of all of the jokes that I feel like were told in this movie, that was the one that really I feel like they tried to take it too far, and it
Mhm.
it stretched into, like, "Okay, this isn't even believable at this
Yeah,
point."
'cause
Like
at some point, he's like, "I know I'm a man," but he's like,
mhm.
he's like, "But, if I can just get some money out of him or an annulment or whatever, get alimony the rest of my life,"
Yeah.
which is like and then he's like but he's still like, we were talking about our honeymoon, and we should be doing, whatever," and I'm like, "Wait, do you know?"
Yeah, it's so goofy. It just I don't know, that whole thing, it just didn't land for me. It was just way too out there, but 'cause the
Um,
'cause the rest of the movie is very grounded and real.
I had, the coincidence of having
Mm,
the what's it, the Italians for Opera or whatever meeting
yeah,
in the same hotel that they went to in Florida. I'm like, it's the it's the movie,
it's
but I'm like, you couldn't come up with something a little bit more
it's
like
so
concrete
bad.
into why they
Yeah.
would be there at the same time.
So, yeah, I that was my last one as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what are the odds that they just happen to be at the same place? They happen to get on the same elevator as the
Mhm.
boys. They happen to find out what room they're in while they're on the elevator, and then during their escape scene, they just happen to climb down and land in the same window that Spats and his guys are looking
Yeah.
at. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'm like, they can't yeah, they're not good at running or they're the 2 least lucky guys on the planet, but
Like, you might be able to sell me on they happen to show up at the same hotel.
Mm.
Maybe I just for fun, maybe I buy that. I buy that. You can't tell me they're gonna get on the same elevator, see them in the same room, all the things. It's too much. It's way too much. It's just goofy. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I guess they needed a way to try to bring it all home.
Sure.
But I think that was the most egregious nitpick, I think, is just the sheer coincidence, like you say.
Yeah, it's the most obvious part, I think, of the movie as, like, a flaw in the writing, right? Or, like,
Mhm.
late not flaw, but, like, just laziness, right?
Yeah.
Which is not that's not fair, but, my last nitpick. So Nellie Weimeyer is the secretary at the beginning of the movie that, like, Tony Curtis is kinda playing. He's who he's gonna borrow her car from, the car that's parked in a garage that a mob group is playing poker in. Who is Nellie? Like, what is sh why
Yeah.
is your car there? Like, it's not like it's like, oh, there just happened the mob happens to be in there, that's totally fine. When they walk
Mm.
in the room, a room where I'm assuming other cars are parked, like a parking garage where other cars are parked, and the mob men are playing 1, they're playing poker there, and 2, they stand up and they point their guns immediately at them. So they're not
Mhm.
expecting anyone to walk into this unless they know them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, why is Nellie's car there? Like, what do you who Nellie, who do you know? Like, what part of like, who's your dad, right? Like
Yeah. Maybe that fits into your sequel idea. Clearly, Nellie has ties to the mob and
Yeah. I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
what's going on with this car's location? Nellie, who are
Yeah.
you? What do you know?
There
Who do you know? Joe, be extra
th
careful breaking Nellie's heart, because
yeah. It does. It starts to I don't know, it blurs that line of, like, was this planned or was this just out of convenience so that they can just be at this spot
yeah.
and witness this murder and all the things,
No,
but I
they do definitely follow that, like, suspension of disbelief you have to push the characters into the situation. Because
Mhm.
honestly, the contrivances that they use are not, in my opinion, they're actually not that well written. It's
Yeah.
just it's not ne to have it well written is not necessary for the movie to be good.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I like your theory better, though, that Nellie is a part of the mob in some capacity.
I'm just
That is
saying,
way
she's like, her dad is like a mob guy,
Mhm.
and, she gets the job as the secretary at this place because, the dad's extorting money from the music agency or something, and he's like, "He's gotta have my daughter in there," kinda thing.
There you
I don't
go.
know. She's a
It's
she's a little
perfect.
nepo mob baby.
Yeah, I think it
Got
fits.
a cushy job where she doesn't have to do anything, so she get paid. But anyways, that was my last nitpick.
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah, I'm out too. I went out on uh, the mob convention at the end.
yeah. It's such a coincidence.
Yeah.
It's the most unbelievable part of the movie for sure, besides
Mhm.
the fact that anyone could believe that these were women. But, anyways. Alright, so let's finish up then. Should this be a classic?
You have to stick to your choice. No takesy backsies this time.
I don't know, like, man, this watching this movie and just digesting it for the first time,
Mm.
it's just a movie, you know? Like, it's not,
Yeah.
like, overly, like, "Wow, this writing is blowing me away," or, "This plot is blowing me," the acting is so intense and so great, but, like, it but I think a lot of that because it's a comedy, and comedy is so of the time, and it gets iterated on so much over time, that the
Mhm.
movie just loses its novelness because so I'm like, I don't wanna punish it because there's so much other stuff that we've seen because this movie exists. So and then at the same time saying that I find myself really thinking about this movie and how insane it is. And I just
Mm.
like I get like very excited talking about this movie even though it's like kind of okay to me,
Yeah.
which tells me there's something more to it than like my just surface level first experience with it. Like there's just something that sticks with this movie, the who the actors were, the Marilyn Monroe-ness, um the the absurdity of the plot what has to happen in the plot, the juxtaposition between mob movie and murder scenes and
Mhm.
drag and music scenes. there's just something about it that I find, like, very endearing. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this movie it's a classic because I did enjoy it. I don't like, I would never be like, "Oh, I love this movie, I don't watch it all the time." But I find myself loving to think about this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. This one's tough because I actually really did struggle with should this be a classic or not? Because after I got done watching it, I was very much of the mindset of absolutely not. Um, 'Cause, like we've talked about extensively, it is a fine movie. It's very funny, but, like, I when I saw all of the reviews and what all of the critics said, I thought to myself, like, "Did we watch the same movie?"
Yeah, did I miss something?
Yeah,
That's part of what I enjoy about this movie. It's, like,
yeah,
how just respected it is, and I'm like, "It's whatever."
yeah, but, like, I think you bring up, like, a really good point about how transformative this was for the time
Mhm,
and what it pushed boundaries with back then, right? Because, like, all right, for example, I look at the original Star Wars, right? Even we missed that train. It came out way well before we were born, right? But
mhm,
we understand the significance of it. We understand what it did for, the future generations of sci-fi movies. And I'm sure the generations that come after us, maybe they get that, maybe they won't. But for us, that is enough. I think when you look at that movie, subjectively or objectively, I don't know, it's
yeah.
kind of shit, right? Like from all aspects. Like it was really good for what it was at the time. But when you compare it to stuff like Dune 2, I don't know,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
right? Like by modern
I
standards.
thought you said Doom. The Rock's
Oh,
Doom from, like,
Doom. Yeah.
2004 or whatever. I was
I
like,
mean, we can
I mean,
we
we can
can
compare it to that movie, but okay. I don't
we can
know.
go down that road if you want to. But
Doom.
when you look at other, like, modern or Blade Runner 2049, right? Like, there's modern sci-fi movies I know I'm going off on a tangent here. They arguably put it in the dirt from a lot of different aspects, but
Mhm.
because it was so revolutionary for its time, it earns that classic
Yeah,
status. I think you can push me in any direction. You can push me to say, "This is just the most movie of all movies of all time." It's just very whatever, blah, it's fine, it's not bad, it's not amazing. Or it deserves to be a classic because it was big for what it did. I can go in either camp. If I mean, my own personal classic movie list, nah, it doesn't make the cut. But
yeah, like, cause like, when you compare it to other things, like, I mentioned Superbad, I think that movie's very funny and very, interesting. I love, What We Did in the Shadows. Like, I think that
yeah,
movie is, like, one of the funniest movies ever, and, like, this does not even hold a candle to the comedy in those movies, right?
mhm,
Like, the way it is more frank with conversations or the way it, like, subverts expectations. It's yeah, I don't I give like I said, I don't give this movie it's a classic. Like, there's the reason why critics give it a classic or film buffs give it a classic rating, right? Because they respect to the genre and blah, 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 right?
mhm,
But, like, for me, I give it it's a classic because I real for some reason, I really enjoy thinking about this movie. I got, like, a lot of fun talking about this movie.
yeah,
Um, but, uh, but from like, if I'm just looking at this movie on its my experience with it, like, it's fine, it's whatever. It's not
yeah,
it's so it's like, I totally get where you're coming from. I think it's whatever. I just for some reason, I just the myth of this movie is what always has really interested me in it.
mhm. It does. I feel like it sticks with you because it's so outrageous
Yeah.
that it I feel like I will remember this movie for the rest of my days because it's just so it's kind of bizarre, but, um, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Alright. Make it you have to make a definitive call.
I am going to you know what? I don't care. No, it's not a classic. Not for me. I
Cool.
don't know.
Billy Wilder put a quote from this movie on his grave, you know? Come on, Justin. No.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm gonna stick with it. It's
Yeah, no,
fun. It's very
I
entertaining.
respect that. The very first time I watched this, I would have said the exact same thing. Like I said,
Mhm,
it's just I've had so much time with it now that it's just stayed with me.
mhm.
Um, which is why I changed my opinion on it. Like, I just every time I meet someone it doesn't come up a lot, surprisingly, but every time I meet someone who's watched some Like It's Hot, I'm like, there's 2 movies, this movie and there's another movie, it's on our list soon that we'll watch called The Big Chill. I've told you a
Oh,
little bit
yeah.
about it. It's another
Yeah,
one that
yeah.
I'm like, it's a movie, but the way it sticks with you, I'm like like, I have so
Well,
many
I mean,
thoughts on what happened in this movie.
yeah. So I mean, I feel like arguably those are the best ones that
Yeah.
stick with you long after you roll the credits. I don't know. I think about like any top movie ranking list that I would ever put together. I don't know where I would put this on any list
Oh,
from
it's not top 100 for me, absolutely
yeah.
not.
Right? So I guess from that standpoint, like it would be hard for me to recommend like this is a classic. You gotta watch this.
Yeah,
Gotta see it.
yeah.
Like to your point,
Like, comparing this to Casablanca, like, this is rated
yeah,
higher in some lists than Casablanca sometimes.
that's insane.
Not
It's
always.
insane.
You
It's
not
insane
normally, I
to me.
should say, not normally, but, like, it's in the
Yeah.
realm of, like it's within 5 movies of it. I'm like, "This is not within 5 movies of
I
Casablanca."
I feel like for all intents and purposes, like this okay, I feel like what we're talking about would be like in 50 years if there were 2 guys sitting down to do a podcast talking about whether or not White Chicks should be a classic movie or not. That's what
No,
it feels like.
I don't think it's that bad. But maybe
It's just
whether Anchorman should be a classic or not, or
yeah,
whether yeah.
there you go. It's just I don't know.
I
I
think
don't
everyone knows White Chicks is not a classic and never will be a classic. But I do think, like, yeah, Anchorman or something maybe of that caliber,
mm, yeah. I'm gonna
or
stick to my guns. I'm gonna say
Bridesmaids even maybe, right? Where that was considered a
Yeah,
little
I always forget
smarter
about
even.
Bridesmaids. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna say not a classic.
Fair enough. I get it. Hey, like I said, I was there with you. I'm like still there. I was still on the fence on this one. So,
Yeah.
but I caved on Goodfellas, so maybe you'll cave next week on something like that.
No, no. I think you should
No.
reverse your decision and you should go back to Goodfellas is not a classic.
I'm just saying, I gave, if we're looking at things relative, I gave Dave as a classic, and I'm like, I get it,
That's fair. Dave is a good movie.
Dave is a good movie. It's a great movie.
I would
All
yeah,
right.
I'd take Dave over
No,
Some Like It Hot.
Dave's way better. Oh, no, yeah, it's not even
Thank you.
close.
Okay,
Dave
so
is
there you
way
go. Put
yeah,
it into that context.
I enjoy Dave a lot more,
There you go. See,
but
here's where I struggle with our classic. Let's go on a little adventure here.
okay, all
Where
right.
I struggle with our is this a classic? I view it from my perspective.
Yeah.
When I recommend this movie, but I get I get my wires crossed because then I look at like, oh well, the critics love this movie and it had huge cultural significance and it did all these wonderful things and rah, 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 rah. I don't give a shit. Do I like it? Would I
There you go.
recommend it? Yes, no. I don't recommend that this be a classic.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Mhm.
So, I'm with you, but like I said
But this
alright,
is a classic.
alright. Well, I think that comes to the end of the show. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys wanna reach out to us, uh, our email is popcornandpals@gmail.com. You can, give us recommendations for movies. You can tell us how annoying we are. You can tell us that we have type O blood, whatever, right? Whatever good God, this
Yeah.
movie's so weird.
Huh.
And then we also have a YouTube channel that has some clips. That one is Popcorn and Pals Pod. So go check us out there. And then in the meantime, everyone, thank you for listening and keep popping that popcorn.